Mr. Bergeron, I'm a huge fan, and
Oh,
I
Tom,
love
Tom, just Tom.
Tom. All right. Well, I'm a huge fan, and I love Mr.
Thank you.
Rogers, and so this is going to be one of my favorite interviews ever.
Oh, great.
Tell me how you got involved in this fantastic album that you guys have put out of Mr. Rogers songs.
Well, Dennis Scott, who had produced already a Grammy Award-winning compilation of Fred Rogers music that I was aware of, contacted me originally to host a companion DVD. It wasn't even about singing, and knowing Dennis's rep, I said, "Sure." And also loving Mr. Rogers too. I said yes. Then the focus kind of shifted for the album at the time where they were just going to focus on the music. So Dennis came back to me and he said, "Can you sing?" And well, I don't have a multi-octave range, but I can carry a tune. So I actually auditioned by singing a cappella into my iPhone, and he said, it's not bad. Yeah, we give you a song. It was Some Things I Don't Understand, which really kind of underscores my life philosophy. And I got to do that, but I also got to improvise whistle on the album too, which I love to do. So it was a real treat to be part of this incredible lineup of recording artists who have legitimate recording careers, and me as the outlier.
I did. I was very like I loved reading the list. It's like Mickey Dolenz, Sandy Patty, who I grew up idolizing,
Yeah.
Jim Brickman, Lee Greenwood, Tom Bergeron. I was like, wait a minute. I know, I know Tom. How come
That
I didn't
guy?
realize he sang so well? It's beautiful. It's an
Thank
absolutely
you.
lovely cover of the song. I love it.
Thank you, Amanda. And actually, it's because of that cover that a producer friend of mine who was producing The Masked Singer at the time
Oh, I know.
called me and said, "Hey, I heard that Fred Rogers song you did. We have one spot open. You can either be a jellyfish or a taco. You interested?" So I ended up being a singing taco. Yeah.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. So, what does it mean to you to be a part of this tribute? I mean, I can't believe when I was realizing that Mr. Rogers would have been 95
Yeah.
this year. I
Yeah.
mean, the man, the impact for how many generations and how many years has he had on this world in a positive way?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You mentioned Sandy Patty, and she and I, along with the really just supporting Dennis's wonderful effort to get Fred inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. He wrote all the songs for all the shows over those decades of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And when you deconstruct what he was able to convey to
Yes.
kids about racism, about divorce, about anxiety, about even the Kennedy assassination, for Pete's sake. What he took on and the way he was able to do it in that human, empathetic manner. And he took his time. The rapid cut shows that you see for kids,
Yeah.
many of them are great, but Fred was going for a different approach, and it's ripe for parody for some. But even those, he even was amused by things like Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood when Eddie Murphy did it, and things like that.
The thing is he never talked down to the children
Right,
either. And
right.
that was so key is that watching it as a kid, I didn't feel like an adult was telling me
Yeah,
heavy-handedly.
yeah, yeah.
He was communicating with us as kids as equals.
Hmm. Hmm. And I think that was the foundation for everything he did. And I met him once briefly in Boston when I worked at WBZ TV, and I can count on one hand the number of people I met in the business who, when you shook their hand, their eyes were focused right on you. You were the only person in the room, and he was one of those people. Just instantly, you felt relaxed in his company because it wasn't an act. That's who he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. So you talked about getting a petition going for getting him into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. It's on change.org. I have signed that petition. How can people get involved in getting this man engraved even more in history.
Yeah, well, exactly the way you've done it. You go on change.org and just look for that petition. Again, it's to induct Fred Rogers into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Dennis Scott has been spearheading that. He's been such a wonderful champion, both in his Grammy Award-winning album and in this one and the reissue of this one, to keep Fred's music and messages alive. And I think particularly now, when we're so ready to be annoyed at everything,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
wonderful to have that sort of calming Fred Rogers philosophy back.
Mm. Well, Tom, I absolutely love you. I am so happy that you are associated with this project because I didn't think I could love you more, but now this just like there's even a bigger spot in my heart for you now.
Oh,
And
thank you, Amanda.
thank you so much for keeping Mr. Rogers alive in all of our hearts because I know I was a lucky girl to grow up with him as my neighbor.
Yeah. Well
Yeah.
said. Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you, Tom. You have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.